If you bought your San Francisco home 20, 30, 40 years ago, I want you to hear three numbers. 16%. That's how much single family home prices in San Francisco rose in just the past year. 13 days. That's how fast the average home is selling. And the number four, that's the average number of offers every listing is receiving right now, with some homes closing hundreds of thousands, even millions above asking. Right here in Cow Hollow, a $15 million listing just sold for $22 million. That's $7 million over the asking price. You've spent decades building equity in the city, and right now in 2026, the market is offering longtime San Francisco homeowners something I've rarely seen in my entire career: maximum leverage. I'm David Poulsen, a fourth generation San Francisco and Bay Area native, a top San Francisco realtor with over 30 years of real estate experience and hundreds of homes sold. Before that, a developer who built everything from multifamily units to subdivisions up to 48 homes. And full disclosure, I'm a baby boomer myself. So everything I'm about to tell you, I'm not just telling my clients, I'm weighing it for my own family too. Stay with me because the next 12 minutes could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for you. What's happening in San Francisco? So, is San Francisco a seller's market in 2026? Absolutely. And for those of us who've owned through multiple cycles, the numbers are remarkable, even by San Francisco standards. So let's start with inventory. A balanced market has about 3 months of supply. San Francisco today is running between roughly 1 and 2 months. And at one point this year, there were only about 150 single family homes for sale in the entire city. That's down nearly 40% from a year ago. And if you've owned your home since the 80s or the 90s, think about that. You may be one of only a few hundred sellers in a city full of eager buyers. Now, the demand side. Real estate data through May shows the median sale price up 16.1% year over year to around $1.7 million. Homes are averaging 4 offers. The typical home goes under contract in about 13 days, and luxury properties in a median of just 12 days. The national press has taken notice. Business Insider says market is off the rails with bidding wars pushing sales hundreds of thousands to millions over asking. The New York Times reports the AI boom has upended San Francisco housing. TechCrunch found luxury sales up 22% year over year. San Francisco has reclaimed its crown as the most expensive housing market in America. And here's the thing about our generation: we own the homes these buyers want. Established neighborhoods, real lots, classic San Francisco architecture. That's not the new condo tower, that's your house. Why is this happening in San Francisco? Why is the market this competitive? three forces, and they matter especially to long-time owners. First, the AI wealth wave. San Francisco is the world capital of artificial intelligence. And the IPO money, the stock vesting, the funding rounds, that wealth is landing in our neighborhoods right now. These buyers are young, extremely well funded, and they keep getting outbid and raising their budgets. The New York Times documented buyers increasing their offers mid-search after losing out repeatedly. In many cases, they're looking for exactly what boomer owners have: the established single-family home in the established neighborhood. Second, constrained supply. Many owners are locked into low mortgage rates, or like a lot of us, own free and clear and simply haven't decided to move. The result is the tightest inventory in years. Third, I say this as someone who has personally taken raw land through subdivision, entitlement, and full build out. New construction cannot fill the gap. And I know exactly how long it takes to bring housing to market in San Francisco. Years, not months. There is no wave of new homes coming to compete with yours. Low supply, surging demand, no relief valve. For sellers our age, that's not just a hot market, that's a window. Real quick, if you owned your San Francisco home for 10, 20, 30 years, and you're even a little curious about what it's worth in this market, my number is on the screen right now: 415-735-6188. Call or text me for a free, completely confidential home valuation. No pressure, no obligation, ever. And remember, I will always give you the straight scoop on San Francisco real estate. While you're at it, tap the subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Now let's talk about what this means for boomer sellers in San Francisco. Let's make this personal. What does this market mean if you're 55 or older and you've owned your San Francisco home for decades? First, you are the most equity-rich seller in this market. If you bought in the 80s or 90s or 2000s, your gain isn't 16%. It may be 500, 800, 1,000%. But here's what I tell every client. Appreciation is on paper. It is not wealth. It only becomes wealth, retirement income, security, a legacy for your kids or your grandkids when you actually sell. And you want to convert it when buyers are competing for you, not the other way around. Second, Proposition 19. This is enormous for our generation, and most homeowners still don't fully understand it. If you're 55 or older, California law now lets you sell your home and transfer your low property tax basis to a replacement home anywhere in the state. Sonoma, Palm Springs, Sacramento, San Luis Obispo, you name it. The old fear, I can't afford the property taxes if I move, is largely gone. I've made an entire video on Prop 19 portability. The link is below in the description. Third, speed and certainty, which matter more at our stage of life. Nobody at our age wants 6 months of strangers traipsing through their house and endless price reductions. In this market, a properly prepared home goes from listing to accepted offer in roughly 2 weeks, often with clean, non-contingent offers and a flexible close dates. You can even negotiate a rent back so you sell at the peak, but move on your own timeline. Fourth, forgiveness. I'll be honest with you, because we're peers, a lot of homes owned for 30 or 40 years have dated kitchens, original bathrooms, deferred maintenance. In a slow market, every one of those costs you dearly. In this market, with 4 buyers competing, demand absorbs imperfection. And many of today's buyers actually want a home they can remodel to their taste. You do not need to renovate your house to win in 2026. You need the right strategy. More on that in a moment. And fifth, for those thinking about real estate planning, selling now on your terms with full control is almost always a better outcome than leaving your heirs to manage a probate or a trust sale in an unknown future market. I work with many families navigating exactly this, and I say it with compassion. The best gift you can give your kids is a plan. And are you asking yourself, should I just wait? Now, the question I hear from most sellers, David, if prices are climbing 16% a year, why wouldn't I wait and ride it higher? It's a fair question. And I'll answer it as someone who has lived through every San Francisco cycle since the early 90s. The dot-com boom and bust, 2008, the pandemic, and this recovery, nobody rings a bell at the top. Markets like this don't announce their peak, and the sellers who try to time it perfectly usually miss it, because the moment the headlines turn, buyer psychology turns, and with them, the leverage evaporates fast. What ends a seller's market? More sellers. The minute inventory rises, it will, because every homeowner watching the same headlines is having the same conversation at their kitchen table. Your home goes from being one of 150 options to one of several hundred. And here's the demographic reality for our generation specifically. The Silver Tsunami. Millions of boomer-owned homes are going to come to market over the coming years as our generation downsizes. Today, you're early, you're scarce, you're the prize. In a few years, you may be one of many. I'm not predicting a crash. San Francisco has been resilient for as long as my family has been here. 4 generations and counting. But there is a world of difference between selling into 4 offers in 13 days and selling into 4 months of supply alongside thousands of homes just like yours. You don't get rewarded for being the 1,000th boomer to sell. You get rewarded for selling while you're one of the few. How I help San Francisco sellers our age win. So, how do you maximize this once in a generation exit? Because even in a red hot market, strategy separates a good result from a great one. And on a San Francisco home, that difference often is 6 or 7 figures. Here's where I'm different from almost any agent you'll interview. I'm not just a realtor with 30 years and hundreds of homes sold. I spent decades as a developer, multi-units, commercial, full subdivisions from raw land to finished streets. I evaluate your home the way builders and investors do. I see value other agents walk right past. Expansion potential under new zoning. The lot value underneath the house. Whether your buyer should be a family, an investor, or a developer, because each will pay a different price for a different story. Which $15,000 preparation returns 10 times its cost, and which renovation is money down the drain. And because I'm a fourth generation San Francisco and Bay Area native and a fellow boomer, I understand what this sale really is. It's not just a transaction, it's the home where you raised your family. And I handle it that way, discreetly, patiently, at your pace. If you need time to sort through 40 years of belongings, we plan for it. If you want to sell quietly without a sign on the lawn, we can do that too. If Prop 19, capital gains planning or a trust is part of the picture, I can recommend CPA and a real estate attorney. It starts with a confidential, no obligation home value consultation. I'll walk your property, tell you honestly what it's worth in today's market, show you the hidden value, and lay out a complete plan, preparation, pricing, timing, taxes to discuss with your advisors and where you might go next. No pressure ever. That's a promise from one boomer to another. Here's the bottom line. You spent decades building this equity. San Francisco in 2026 is handling a long-time owners a historic window, 16% appreciation, 13 days sales, 4 offers per home, the lowest inventory in years, and Prop 19 means you can finally move without property tax penalty. Windows like this do not stay open forever. If you've owned your San Francisco home for years and you're even curious about what it's worth, call or text me directly at 415-735-6188. Email me, David, at sfhothomes.com. Every conversation is completely confidential. And if this was helpful, please subscribe and tap the bell. I publish straight talk, San Francisco market intelligence for homeowners our age. Real numbers, no hype, from someone who's been building and selling in this city for years. I'm David Poulsen, and I will always give you the straight scoop on San Francisco real estate. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.